Alright, so here's the second model I wanted to take a look at. Let's maximize this perspective. So let's run those tests on this model that we ran on the previous model. So I'm just going to do check. And it says it's valid. And then I'm going to do select bad objects. And it says fine. And then I'm going to do show edges. Pick that guy. And you're going to see that we have some naked edges, right? Which means that there's gapping in between there. Doesn't look like we have any non-manifold edges, but we do have naked edges. So let's remove this object from the selection set. And if we zoom in, you can start to see the gapping. Can you see that gap right there that's occurring right between those two edges? So you could do a command like join edge, and if you pick that and pick that, say yes, it tries to join them, but it cannot join those edges. Let's go ahead and take a look at these edges down here, because there's also a gap right here. If we try join edges here, you can pick that and say yes. And it joins them, but actually puts another piece in there, right? So it's not actually it looks like it's not joining them. So let's look at add objects. No, it looks like it says it joined that, and that's not an open edge anymore, but I'm suspicious of it. My feeling in general is really you can move points around, but you'll end up making these naked edges because it'll move the face off of that edge. So really what I generally do is rebuild the piece if it's an isolated incident like this. And this one is a bit complex because it has this Boolean difference in it, but I tend to save copies of my original solids, so I have a copy over here of that. And if we do a show edges here, right, you get those same edges that are shown, but this one's a bit easier to fix, right, because we don't have this big hole and all that stuff in it. So if I close that, I can explode that one, delete the offending surface, and just go in and redraw that, making sure that my lines are coincident with the edges of that surface. So if I go to line, endpoint, 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 and then I'm just going to turn that off. So I've got lines along there. I'm going to explode this guy so they're all individual pieces, and then I'm just going to edge surf them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it puts a surface in there. And then I turn my purple guy back on and I do a join. And then we do a show edge. Pick that guy and we're good, right? So we've rebuilt that. And then what I'll need to do is turn back on my sweep. Can actually delete this. And then we can make a copy of this one. And we'll just copy it from that endpoint and come down and get that endpoint. Okay, and then I'll just turn the, let's go ahead and make this guy current, and we'll go ahead and change this guy back to purple. Layer, turn that layer off so I can see my sweep. Pick the rail. OK, and then cap it because I forgot to tell it to do so. And then turn this guy back on and do my Boolean difference again. All right, So now we've got a model that has integrity. So I am now going to export this model, and we'll do that in the next video.